Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We are now going to be doing the spoiler review for The Running Man with Glen Powell.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess we'll just start by getting into the actual movie itself and kind of just going over the plot. I know we haven't really done that before, but
We're gonna try out this little looser because every single time after we're done with our review, I feel like, oh, I should have said this, I should have said this, and so this is gonna be a little longer format, and we're just gonna go through the whole movie bit by bit, break it down, let y'all know our thoughts on every little bit. First, I want to talk about something. This movie, the whole time watching it, reminded me of this show that I wanted to tell you about. I've told you about it before. It's called, well, there's two. The one that I saw is called Hunted, but it's originally a British show called Wanted.
okay.
And it's basically the exact same thing as The Running Man without the killing, but it's a bunch of teams of people. They get like a running head start, and then like in the American version of what I saw is the police and FBI using like any tool at their disposal to find them, and as they hide out all across the country. Actually, not all across the country. There's a specific radius that they were supposed to stay in, and they had like check-in zones, kind of like the movie. But it was all right. I liked it, and then watching the movie, it was like basically like a murdery version of that show. It's pretty cool. But yeah, let's get into it.
So the movie takes place in this kind of like almost, would you call it a police state?
Yeah, it's definitely a surveillance state. Definitely.
Surveillance state, I guess is what I was thinking. Because, I mean, everywhere. Like they very start of the movie, they let you know that there's cameras everywhere. All of the like they even said like the TVs that you watch you,
Mm-hmm.
and like instead of billboards, there were like TV monitors everywhere because everything was controlled by like this one corporate conglomerate
Yeah.
of like the media and also business kind of. It almost kind of
Yeah.
reminded me of B&L from Wally
Yeah. A lot like that.
because it also had like its hand in the government. But they said it's the only TV to watch.
Yeah, so they bought up all the channels
But I
and
thought it was
put,
strange because it was just like weird game shows,
yeah, a lot of murdery game shows.
and that was pretty much it. I was like, so there's no fiction anymore?
It's like Mr. Beast got enough money to buy all the
Yeah.
television
I like it almost seemed
channels.
like extreme like Wheel of Fortune or extreme hole in the wall. Like one was like a
Yeah.
trivia Jeopardy type one.
Yeah.
But
There's the hamster wheel
yeah.
where like the floor dropped unnecessarily
Yeah.
just to be like needlessly harsh.
But and I mean, it kind of gave me Hunger Games vibes for sure.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this was all for like the upper classes amusement, but even the lower class people were watching
Oh
it
yeah.
too.
It's
But I
for
just
the
thought,
whole
how
nation.
has this dominated all of television in this world?
Um,
Because I mean, I feel like people would still want movies and fiction and like soap operas and
they
I don't
did.
know, anything.
Yeah, they do a good job at spinning, like the backstories of the people.
But just this world is so dark.
Oh yeah,
Like it's kind of sci-fi futuristic, but not very far.
no,
Like it kind of seemed real, like real life,
yeah,
but
that's what we were
just
saying.
a
The only
couple
thing
years in
really
the
different
future.
is they have different money.
Yeah, their money was weird and had it almost looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I thought, on the money.
LOL, really?
Yeah, I thought, and they called it like New Bucks or something.
Well, you
Or
know,
no, they just called it New. That's what it was.
new
They saw the
dollars.
money was new. They said new.
Yeah, but
And it was big. It was like huge.
it could have been Arnold Schwarzenegger on the because this is a remake. Well, it's an adaptation of the book, but the original adaptation of the book was starring Arnold
I
Schwarzenegger.
bet you it was.
So probably that's a
Because
little cameo
it had a
reference.
real big shot on it, but I didn't get to see it
Okay.
very often.
Yeah, it might have been then.
But it was just and like the money was valued was way crazy.
Yeah, I
And it
couldn't
seemed like
understand how
the
that
only
went.
way to get medicine seemed like through black markets, or maybe it was just the
Well,
cheapest
that it
way.
was the cheapest way, is what they were saying. Which, yeah, if this one company also owned the pharmaceuticals, they could be jacking up the prices.
I don't know that it said that they specifically owned the pharmaceuticals, but it seemed
It
like
did
they had
not.
their hands in
You know,
everything pretty
like,
much.
yeah, I had assumed.
And there was like everyone was sick because of like different awful things that were polluting the environment. Like we start off the movie with Glen
Hmm.
Powell's character trying to almost like argue his way into getting his job back at this like dangerous mine or like some kind of factory or something.
Yeah,
But he's got his little daughter with him, and the guy's like not having any of it. He said, "No, you went and talked to a union rep about a radiation leak making all your people infertile, and now you're standing here with your daughter. You got your daughter. So there you go." And he's like, "Well, my daughter's sick, and all these people are getting sick because of this radiation leak. Like it needed to be dealt with, but I shouldn't be punished for that. I should still be able to have a job." And he's like, "Nope, sorry, you had your chance. You need to go. You're blacklisted."
yeah.
And so he's got like no choice to he's got no choice for a job in this world. And his daughter is sick. She's had a fever for days. And so he takes her back to their like they call it like a slums, like the slum land or something is where they
Yeah.
live. But I mean, they still had like a TV and electricity and running water and stuff,
Hmm.
but it was still you could tell it was positioned to be like lower end for this
Yeah.
society. And he was trying to take care of the baby, but he turns on the TV and we see a man on a hamster wheel trying to answer Jeopardy questions. And he
That is the
says,
same show. Yeah.
yeah, it was the
It
same.
was the, yeah.
But, and they had like this pretty woman like trying to be Vanna White, but she like cranked a lever to make the wheel spin
Yeah.
faster if he got the answers wrong. But the question we see is
Hmm.
how many airplane bathrooms are on this executive airplane? And it's four,
Mm,
6, or 8.
yeah.
And Glenn Powell's character says 8. And the guy on the show says 4, but they're both wrong
The
because the
answer is
answer is
6.
6.
Yeah.
And the guy gets thrown like down this deep pit and lands really hard.
Which I don't think it was there at first. I think
No,
like it
they opened
opened
like a
up.
trap
I was
door
like, okay, come on.
because the wheel was spinning so ridiculously fast that he spun all the way around it and then fell off.
Yeah, I thought the wheel was gonna kill him.
I mean, it brutalized him pretty
Oh
bad
yeah.
and then threw him down that hole. And I mean, he didn't necessarily die, but he didn't look like he was in good health.
Oh yeah.
And that was one of the better shows where you're not likely to die.
Yeah.
But then we see that Glenn Powell is writing down the amounts of money the question was worth. And we
Mhm.
see he's got a chart of all of the money that could be won from all of these different shows. And he determines that out of all these shows, the least that he would make is 75 new, which would be a lot for them to get medicine and, just what they need for their daughter.
Yeah.
But speaking of which, then comes in the mom, who we find out is a waitress at I guess like a gentleman's
Yeah,
club or
kind
a
of
strip club or maybe
sleazy
some kind of
bar.
nightclub. But it almost acts like she's like a sex worker or
That's
like
how
a
they're
stripper
trying to
because she's very
portray it.
beautiful and she's very glammed up. She's got some very nice jewelry and her hair is very pretty. But she makes it very clear that she doesn't sleep with people. She just flirts with the desperate ones to get extra tips.
Yeah.
But Glenn Powell's character doesn't like that regardless. But, she asks him, was he able to get a job? And he says, no, I was still blacklisted, but I'm going to try out for these game shows. And she
Mhm.
says, no, definitely not. Do not be the running man because you'll
Mm.
die. They never come back.
He's like, I'm
And
not
he's
that
like, no,
stupid.
I'm not that stupid. I'm just going to, try for these other ones. And in all honesty, he does.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, this line he has to go wait
Oh
in,
my gosh.
it like is just thousands of people in this line. It like trails like picture Comic-Con waiting to get in.
Mhm.
And they're just snaking all the way around. And they say, keep your eyes forward and your mouth shut.
Yeah.
And there's a guy just screaming that over and over and over. And Glen Powell tries, but this guy behind him's coughing and throwing up and
Yeah.
falls over. And so he tries to help him, but the guards tell him no, stop that,
That
and beat
was
on him.
that was a weird thing that didn't really come back, was his helpful nature.
Mm,
Like always wanted to help people. I thought that would like
I think it stayed through and through. I was gonna
mm,
get to that
okay.
because, like, yeah, this guy falls down, and Glen Powell. Oh, I forgot to mention.
Mm-hmm.
He tells the guy because the guy says, "Oh, you brought your daughter here just to guilt trip me," and
Oh
he
yeah, that was
says,
funny.
"No, I brought her here so that I wouldn't kill you." And he has like this crazy temper and flies off like really easy, flies off the handle. And the wife echoes that later. She says, "Oh yeah, you brought her so that he wouldn't kill him," because he says, "Oh, I brought her to guilt trip him."
Yeah.
But these guards are like, "Hey, look forward, don't bother with this guy." And he's like, "I'm gonna help him. What's wrong with you? It's the decent thing to do." And he just starts screaming at these guards, and of course they get their like cattle prod taser things to.
Yeah. That's funny. In like all of the dystopian media, they always have those taser sticks.
Well, I think it's because they're treating the people like cattle. Like
Ah.
it's like cattle prods. That's what they do to
Oh.
you know
They
snake
have
the.
those taser sticks.
Yeah, it's a cattle prod.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah. And so it's just like a sci-fi teched up version of that. They're just
Ew.
treating the people like how cattle are treated,
Yeah.
like herding them into the rows and telling them, that's pretty much one for
Oof.
one what that was.
Damn.
And they were up for the slaughter essentially
Yeah.
because, they do this aptitude test of the people and
To see
position them for
which
different
show was
shows.
best on that.
And so it wasn't even really like he was able to pick what show. He just got, selected because uh they almost like abused the fact that he had anger issues
Oh
and
yeah.
a compassion for his fellow man against him.
And for his family especially.
Yeah, especially with his family, because they interviewed him and decided that that's where he would be. And oh, I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
But since he tried to help the man and he's fighting with the guards, they beat him, brutalize him, knock him to the ground, and tell him to start over at the end of the line.
Yeah, that
And so
was
he has to start
frustrating.
all the way over. And then when he finally gets up to the clerk like won't answer his questions, but he can see there's like this triangle with an exclamation point on his
Yeah.
visible profile that they have because everyone is surveillance state. He just walks up and immediately his face and all his information is just public knowledge. And the guy starts going through how he was fired from every single job for insubordination. And he's just trying to ask him, "Hey, what's this, triangle about?" And the guy just won't answer his question. And so he punches out the glass. And I think it's
Yeah.
because the guy mentions his daughter and his
Yeah.
wife for whatever reason. And he says,
I
"Don't
think
you ever mention them again,
yeah.
or there's no glass thick enough to stop me from getting into
Yeah.
you." And then we see there's also like he meets like, oh, this kind of punk lady that is apparently his neighbor, and also this like kind of lanky nerdy guy who I think we determined is from Saturday Night Live, the Please Don't Destroy.
I didn't look it up, but we think it was
I'm
him.
almost certain. I'll look it up later, but I'm
Yeah.
sure that's who that was. And they three get put on the Running Man show. And of course, they have to decide whether or not to say yes. And
Mm-hmm.
so they're sitting in this lounge, and he's the last one to go in because he's our main character. But the other two walk out with these beautiful women and a glass of champagne.
Which is the stupidest thing you could ever do if you're going to be on a show where people are hunting you.
Yeah.
But they did have a 12-hour period to sober
Oh
up
yeah, they
and
gave them a
shit.
head start,
The head start, yeah.
but they made it very lucrative because they said you're going to earn 1 billion new,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I guess, you're set for life, is what they try to position it as.
Oh,
But
I
I don't
mean,
know if that would be a lot of
they were
money.
acting like 200 was huge. So a billion is
Yeah,
crazy.
but at the same
You're a
time, like
Vanderberg.
they talk about these bonuses later that they'll get, and like just the amount for the bonuses was so ridiculous too. I just was like, how
Oh,
much
yeah.
is money worth
Yeah.
to these people?
Well, I was looking at the thing about the show, and it was talking about the book.
Hmm.
So apparently, in the book, it's $100 per. And like the thing I was looking at just said regular dollars, but it was like $100 per hour you survive, and $100 per hunter you kill.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was way inflated.
Yeah. Right.
Because in this one, it was if you kill one of your pursuers, you get $10,000
ten
for one of
thousand.
them. And like they had different milestones. I quickly lost track of the money that they unlocked for how
Yeah.
long they were alive. But it didn't take long for the nerdy guy to get taken out.
Oh yeah.
Within 48 hours, I believe.
Yeah. He when he was like flirting with.
He flirted with the barista and was
Which
like,
I
I'm
was
the
like,
running man.
is that a Luigi Mangione reference? Because I think that's pretty much what happened with him. Was
Oh,
he
and the
like
lady at the McDonald's.
he
Yeah.
took off his mask, flirting with person, and then the cameras got him, and that's why they got him for allegedly doing
Yeah.
the thing.
If you think that's what happened. But I don't know. It could be. I just thought it was funny because they also showed that that's normally how it goes.
Yeah,
And it was just so ridiculous. But it was funny. And that was another thing. This movie was very funny.
it's Edgar Wright. He's pretty
Yeah,
funny.
I love Edgar Wright stuff. Everything I've seen of his, I've enjoyed, I believe.
Oh yeah, there's not a single one, and we've seen everything.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know you really like Baby Driver. I really like Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, I think my favorite though is Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, Hot Fuzz you do really like. I like it, but not as much as you.
No, but Hot Fuzz, all the Cornetto trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Baby Driver, Last Night in Soho,
I
and
really
this.
liked Nice Last
He
Night in
he
Soho.
has like a low budget, I think, Western, and that's the only one I haven't seen.
Okay, well,
And
I need to
when that
see
was his
that.
very first, very low budget movie.
Okay.
Yeah, he's really funny, and so this movie had a pretty good humor throughout, while still remaining very dark.
Oh yeah, I mean it was very morbid, and there was a lot of death,
Hmm.
just senseless gun
And it's
violent
like
deaths.
it's the death that makes you just feel bad when you watch. You're like, ugh.
Oh yeah, but it was such an action-packed movie, and it had lots of good people in it.
Oh yeah. Josh Brolin's been having a year.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed him in this and in Weapons.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he's like the game maker, and he's the one getting Glen Powell to sign. And they tell him that his family will be safe, and they like move them away from where they are currently at into like a safe house uptown. Because whenever they take him on to the show for like the pre-show interviews, they blast the family and like talk all kinds of
Yeah.
smack on him and the family and
Mm,
basically paint a whole target on his back as well as his family,
yeah.
and get him
But
all riled up, I guess, for the cameras, because that's kind of the central theme of the movie
that
is
remind
everything is for the cameras. It's all for their quote unquote entertainment. And it's
and
very
so
realistic
very
because
frustrating.
everything is all edits,
Oh my gosh,
and
everything.
it's only going to get worse with
Mm,
being able to artificially change things.
yeah.
I mean, right now you
This
have to
is
have people's permission, but in this movie you didn't.
yeah, we're in the era of Sora 2 right now.
Oh yeah, I
Ugh.
mean, they definitely did very good high quote unquote high quality
Yeah, and then
edits
we were
with
talking about
AI,
that in the
but
non-spoiler.
in the movie it
Like
was
it
supposed to
was
be
yeah.
they just faked it, and I almost want to say they called it deep fakes,
I'm not sure if they did.
but it was crazy, but it was eerie because of how close to real life it is.
Yeah. But they're just all the
And
time
it
he's
was
saying stuff,
only
they're cutting it.
malicious. They
Oh
only used
yeah.
it for malicious means, and it was so bad.
Mhm.
Ugh, it just really chilled me.
But it's pretty much the same. Like reality shows are scary
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
But they do the pre-show interview and they get everything all riled up, and then they set him loose.
Hmm.
And in this game, you can go pretty much wherever.
Yeah.
You just have to survive for I think it's a solid month. What, 30 days?
Does he? No, I
He does not leave the
no, I
country.
don't think you can leave the country because that's a thing later in the movie.
We'll see. IMDb summary says that they can go anywhere in the world.
Okay.
But I did have the thought when I read that, I was like, well, why didn't he? Why, that would be the first thing I would have done,
Because
is go across the world.
yeah, where it's less likely that they have like I bet in
Well, it's gonna be
Japan.
harder for them to catch up to me
Yeah. Oh, that
unless they
too.
get on the second flight out.
But it's a thing of him trying to go to Canada,
Yeah, towards the end, I suppose.
and like there he can wait it out, and they can't get to him, or because they have those cameras that like
Oh
see
yeah,
the
they had
DNA in
cameras
your
on every
hair.
quarter. Oh yeah, no, a sniffers on every lamppost.
It was a lamppost. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so even more.
Ugh.
And every TV, every like just every like
Everything.
obviously
Yeah.
the phones, but even like the incentivized the people if they saw him to take a picture of him,
Mhm.
because it would be, I believe, 3 or 5 thousand. I think it's 3,000 if they got a picture of him and reported him, but 10,000 if the report of him led to him being killed.
Which is my thing. Like, if you know this show is about to start filming, I would try and be one of the people reporting and getting the money that way. It's a lot safer.
Yeah, I just think it would be harder to do that because they say like people can't report them for the first day.
Yeah.
And by the second day, I'm hopefully, in their mind, they would have run away far enough to where people aren't going to just straight up notice them.
Well, it seems like you just have to hang out at strip clubs.
Because,
Yeah.
yeah, the lady that was his neighbor very quickly started drinking and
Yeah.
got just as many women as she could get and got like an Elvis impersonator outfit get
Oh my
up.
gosh.
I think she went to Vegas
Yeah.
because, yeah, it looked crazy.
Which, like, there's part of me, like, if I didn't have any family or anything, like, they give you a whole bunch of money to start with. If you don't think you're gonna survive, just, I think they even say it in the movie, go out with a bang.
Oh, yeah, that was definitely the way that that was going. But Glen Powell had this friend who I guess almost was like a coworker or like a family friend, but
Yeah,
he was very disappointed to learn that he
William
had
H.
joined
Macy.
what?
His William H. Macy is the
Yeah,
actor. He is in
I know he's in Shameless.
Shameless, but one of the Cohen, I think Burn After Reading is the one he was in.
Either that or Fargo.
Either that or Fargo. It might have been Fargo. One of the two.
But yeah, I like him in pretty much whatever
Yeah,
I
he's
see him
he's
in.
good, but he wasn't in this very much.
No, he wasn't, but
He's just in
he
that
was
scene
disappointed in Glenn Powell's character
for doing the show.
for
Yeah.
joining the Running Man because he said it's, pretty much definitely a death sentence. And he's this kind of recluse character. He's got all the cameras and, oh, I saw you 2 streets away.
Yeah, he makes weapons and.
Yeah, underground weapons, and made him his fake ID
Hmm.
and had this almost like stand in for C4 that they called, it was black or green.
Black Irish or something
Black
like that.
Irish, yeah. It almost sounded
Is,
like a drink,
is
but
that
it was
not
supposed to
real?
be like, I don't know if it is or not. I had never heard of it.
Neither have I, but I don't know that kind
But
of
they
stuff.
acted like it was like thermite or just something extremely explosive,
Yeah,
but in a very small form, like how they always say C4 is in
like
movies.
he said later on, it would vaporize them.
Yeah, he was saying that it would vaporize everything in it was like a quarter
Yard,
mile
quarter
radius.
mile, damn.
He makes him a fake ID and gives him like a priest outfit and sends him on his
Hmm.
way, which does not work for very long
No.
because, I mean, that would be kind of boring if it did.
There's the priest one, but there was also just the mustache, just the regular mustache that falls
Well,
off on the plane.
yeah, that was actually a train.
There's a train.
Hmm.
Okay.
He gets on like this speedy train, and his first thing is to leave the city
Hmm.
because some people hide out in the slums with their own kind, is how the producer Josh Brolin puts it.
Mhm.
Other people try to hide with like crowds, and that's kind of what he tries to go do is hide in a populated area with but his mustache is falling off on the
Yeah.
train and a kid calls him out but he thinks he's being reported so he like overdoes it and threatens
Yeah.
this kid like chokes him out a little bit but the kid's just like your mustache is falling off but then he goes and stays at this hotel but that doesn't last very long.
No, he has that nightmare.
Yeah, remind me again.
He has the nightmare where the friend's bunker gets broken into by the hunters, and then they're torturing him and like grinding up his hand, and then he eventually spills the identity and the costume and everything, but that ended up being a nightmare.
Ah, I thought that did happen.
No, I think that was a nightmare because they didn't end up coming there until later, which is just probably because of hair the hair lamps.
Maybe.
Like they were
But
gonna know where he was regardless of any torturous information, so I don't think
well,
they
like way
went
later,
out of their way to do that. I think that
they
was just a
said
nightmare.
he said that Molly didn't tell you that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'm
So the
not sure.
torture, I'm pretty sure, did happen.
Okay, I thought it was a dream.
Well, the dream part was them like catching him in the hotel.
Okay.
It was very weird how that part was laid out
Yeah.
because I thought that the whole thing was a dream, but I guess he saw them getting there and was able to prepare himself.
We don't see that character after the dream, so we don't know what happens to him.
No, but he definitely tells the guy later, like on the plane, "Oh, you didn't get that information out of him, huh?"
Yeah.
It was either on the plane or at the airport.
Okay.
But he said it to this main like hunter guy that is wearing the mask the whole time.
Yeah.
Because yeah, the hunters are like little celebrities. Everyone thinks they're great because well, the high class like people in the upper class think that the hunters are great because they're going around trying to kill these scum people is what they
The
think.
freeloaders of society and the
Yeah,
thieves
was
and
very strange.
yeah, it's very Fox Newsy.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a commentary on classism, and I mean it worked, but
Yeah.
I don't know, it was a little confusing to me.
Hmm.
I could buy that the people would be that naive, but
I can definitely. No, that didn't have me for a second. Like the whole like, oh, he was selling government secrets because that's the backstory they made for him was he
yeah,
was selling secrets to terrorists. And so yeah, no. And then the other one, they probably were freeloaders and thieves. And so
yeah.
it's pretty easy to paint them. No, I had a pretty easy time believing that.
But I mean, he runs and leaves the hotel because this is around the time that the lanky, nerdy guy gets killed,
Mm-hmm.
and he watches it on the TV because they also have to make like confessional style blog
Mm-hmm.
type video cassette tapes and mail those off. Which, if I was anybody that was hunting, I would hide out by those little mailboxes.
Exactly. That's yeah.
Like they had crowds around the mailboxes because people knew that he would be coming to drop off his tape
Mm-hmm.
because you have to do it every single day.
And yeah, those do get tracked.
Yeah, they were
Which of
for
course
sure
they
being
do.
tracked.
No, the game is rigged from the start,
Oh, it was
and
very,
yeah.
very much rigged. I think he leaves the hotel and he like narrowly gets past the people as they're like getting to the hotel to get him.
Okay.
And he's on the run and he eventually sees, I guess, like a homeless man. Not, no, he wasn't a homeless man. He was just a man in a slum with a veteran hat.
Mm-hmm.
And so he gave him 200 new, one for the hat and one for wherever this guy lived, apparently.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, "Well, what war did you fight in?" And he made one up, and the guy
So
obviously saw
Alaska.
through it. And he said, whatever, I guess it's not stolen valor if you pay me for it.
Hmm.
And so they traded hats, and then Glen Powell had a place to lay down for the night. But he went and took his obligatory Glen Powell shower for every
Hmm.
movie that Glen Powell's in so that he could run around in a towel, shirtless.
You gotta show off those muscles.
Oh, yeah. And he was looking out the window at this crazy guy screaming and these three people hanging out in front of the mailbox
Mm-hmm.
because he is waiting. I'm just realizing now what I said earlier
Mm-hmm.
about if you're the hunters, you should
Yeah,
hang out by the mailbox
because
because they
what
did.
the crazy guy is the
The
hunter.
crazy guy and the three men that are hanging out by the dumpster, or not the dumpster, the
Mailbox.
mailbox, are hunters. And he's been waiting for them to go away so that he could mail off his thing in peace, but they won't.
Yeah. And that's kind of like what the show does, because they have a part like that.
But he eventually realizes that they're hunters because he recognizes the guy's face, I guess, from the show.
And he also, what he said was something that Glen Powell said when he was on the stage about burning the whole thing down. Like, the guy said the exact same thing Glen Powell did.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I guess I didn't catch that. Like the crazy guy was screaming the thing that Glen Powell had said.
And he's like, wait a minute, that's exactly what I said. Wait a minute, that guy's face. Oh, shit.
Yeah. And then, of course, he looks over at the TV and they're like, yep, they're narrowing it in. They're about to get him.
Yeah, that part was really cool. This whole scene was really fun.
But at that point, I believe he had traveled to Boston because I think the hotel that he was staying at was in New York.
Okay.
But at some point, he traveled to Boston
Yeah.
and he's getting pursued. He's on the third floor and oh yeah, he's going down the hall because he's running from the people because they're rushing inside up to where he's at, and he runs out into the hall, and he makes it all the way down the hall right as they're coming up the stairs as someone bursts out the bathroom and traps him behind the
Oh
door in the
yeah,
corner.
that's where he got like super lucky. I was like, that's plot armor there.
Oh
He
yeah.
had so much plot armor
Oh
throughout the whole
yeah.
movie.
I mean, it's plot armor the movie
Mm-hmm.
because I'd have been got
Oh yeah,
immediately.
no, I don't think he would have survived if this was real.
No, definitely not.
But then there's the thing to be said about. We'll get to it later.
Yeah, but it was a cool action scene. He's
Mm-hmm.
running around and he eventually runs to the top of the building and is scaling down the building, loses his towel because, of course, he has to use it to punch the window so he can get back into his own room, which alerts the people and they run back to where he is and shoot up the place.
Yeah.
But he jumps back out the window and rappels down the building. He rappels down and in through another apartment's window,
Mm-hmm.
and he's running through there and he gets into the elevator,
Oh yeah.
but he has a grenade that
Mm-hmm.
he found in the room he was staying in,
Yes.
and the elevator is stuck between floors
Mm-hmm.
because it was broken, and he throws the grenade out at the masked man who's been hunting him, but the masked man kicks it back and says, well, sorry, or back at you or something.
Yeah, he's
Like,
like right back at you. It's in the trailer.
yeah, but he says something like, oh, you can't throw it back at me. And so he throws it up instead,
Mm-hmm.
and it blows up above the elevator and sends it down because it destroys the pulley system. And so
Yeah.
now he's in like the basement level, and I guess there's just a bunch of flammable stuff down in
Yes.
there, like turpentine and gasoline and different things.
Because first he gets a bunch of magazines and then lights that on fire as like a little torch.
But that starts like another
And that
fire.
starts the bigger fire.
But I love like it catches the shelf of this like chemical shelf on fire,
Mm-hmm.
and the fire causes the turpentine and different things to explode, and they say he has a gun, and
Mhm.
so they start shooting up the place, and they rupture a gas pipe, and then
Yeah.
he says, "Everyone get out! It's gonna blow up." But he follows the rats that are escaping down a drain in the floor as the place blows up and takes out 8 hunters.
Yes. Which then they try and to make him look even worse, be like, these people had a family,
Yeah,
and
they
I'm just
literally brought
like,
his children on to the show
yeah,
to have a candlelight vigil.
yeah, and I'm like, that's what the show is.
They knew the risk.
You literally have an incentive to kill the other hunters.
Oh yeah, he had a $10,000 incentive.
But they make him look like this horrible person.
Yeah, that's the first instance of them like deep faking his stuff because the explosion happens and he escapes into the street out of the sewer, and a kid finds him, and he
Hmm.
thinks it's the kid that ratted him out, but
Hmm.
the kid actually didn't
Yeah.
and is willing to help him.
Hmm.
And so the little kid takes him to his family's house, where we find that his older brother is like a freedom fighter and an
Yes.
archivist who has like archived all of the episodes and knows all there is to know about them, and has this alter ego where he, do you think that was the brother?
I was just about to ask. I was like, was that the brother? We don't know. It could have been.
There was just an alter ego character.
It's like this dude in a mask has like a YouTube channel.
It was a play on the like hunter in a mask. It was like his
Hold on.
outfit but alternated, like blinged up. But this is where we learn from the older brother that there's three main archetypal types that they try to cast
Yeah.
whenever they're making the Running Man.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about earlier with all
One
the
is like the
people.
loser, the lanky guy that dies within the first 48 hours.
Hmm.
The second is what they called them, like the negative person.
Yeah, and those were the people I was talking about. They were like, "Fuck my life. I'm just gonna go out with a bang."
Yeah,
And that was the chick,
yeah. And then they called him the final
the
person.
final guy. They were the final dude.
Yeah, because they are really good at it, and the archival footage is like the most Glen Powell looking person
Mhm.
that isn't Glen Powell.
Right.
They have him dressed the same with like the same haircut, doing the same kind of stuff, and they say, "This is you. This is what you're doing."
Mhm.
And they almost always live, except none of them ever do.
Yeah, there except for one dude, he almost went the full month, but like day 28 or 29, like he got taken out.
Yeah.
Ooh, something mysterious.
He gets taken to this house with this Boston family where the mom is, trying to take care of her sick child because she has lung cancer despite being a little girl because of radiation from a Rhode Island bombing.
Yeah.
Like a nuke, I guess, had gone off or something. But England Powell says, "Well, I've never heard of that." And he said, "Yeah, you wouldn't, because the
Mhm.
company that owns the explosion of the factory also owns the news,
Yeah.
and so they wouldn't tell you about
And
that."
that company owns the game show you're
Yeah,
on.
just they own everything. And so he gets really up in arms and decides that if he's going to be put on this show and have to make these confessionals, that he's going to record like a rebellion message.
Hmm.
And so he's like, you
He's
know
gonna
what?
expose them.
Yeah. And he says, this company is giving these people cancer and it's awful. But then when they turn on to the show later, they come to realize that things can
They
be
changed it.
edited.
They changed what he said to cut out all that stuff and then make him look like even bigger of an asshole.
Yeah, he says, I'm glad I killed them people. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
I'll see them in hell. I hope their children know about it, or just something just as awful as it could be
Yeah.
to the kids. And all the kids are there. on stage, and everyone is just shocked and they boo.
And then the family.
And the family gets mad and up in arms and kicks him out, pretty much. And he's like, well, that's not real. That's not what I said. But they're like, oh, yeah, well, I just saw it.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. I don't think they think he said that. I think they're just like, I don't care. We can't have that heat on our family.
I don't know. The mom seemed to not believe that he didn't say it.
Okay.
And
But
she's the one that said, get him out of here. And so they load him in the trunk and try to drive him away. But they get pursued because, of course.
that's a fun
And
scene.
yeah, oh, it was very cool because it was from his perspective. It just focused on just him in the trunk.
Yeah.
And these two motorcycles try to chase them down, and he throws a tire iron to take one of them out. And then they do the thing that I always think of in a motorcycle. They just slam on the brakes.
Yeah.
And so the motorcycle, bam, hits in the back, and the driver flies off, and the passenger falls off. And so they back up and take out the passenger. And then by that time, the driver stood up, and then they drive forward and take him out too. And, you know, that's why I always think, why would you pursue someone on a motorcycle?
Right.
And they have gotten safe for at that point. So they get him out of the city and stash him with this other freedom fighter who we come to find out is Michael Cera.
Who lives in the
Yeah, in
town.
the Stephen King's favorite town, Derry from Maine.
Is that a real town?
No,
I
but
think it's
it comes
fictional.
up several times. I don't think it's just in it. I think it's in several of his stories.
And I think I remember hearing somewhere that in the book, The Running Man, he does when he goes to Derry, he talks to like Beverly or somebody
Probably.
from it.
I could see that. But that's when it clicked with me that it was a Stephen King adaptation.
Yeah. Where he loves his Maine. Is that where he grew up?
I don't know. I don't really know much about Stephen King. I've just
No.
seen a lot of his stuff. But he gets there to this older kind of like farmhouse. Like it's a very nice house, but it's old and dilapidated, and it's got, it's rigged out because Michael Cera is this kind of conspiracy theorist type. And so he has a safe room to keep Glen Powell's character in, and like a bunker where he's making chemicals and stuff, he says. And the only hitch is he has this crazy mom who is watching the Running Man in the other room and cheering and
Fox
saying,
News
please
brain.
kill him. Kill him, kill him, kill him. He's a demon. Please kill him.
Yeah, she thinks he's like
She
a
wants to
literal
watch him
hell.
die. Well, it's because of what he said about the children.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he said something about
the fake thing.
Yeah. And so she fell for it, and he says, oh, don't mind her. He said that she's lost her mind because his dad owned this hot dog cart, because when the police were bought out by the corporation, he didn't think that they should be run by the corporation. They should be governed by the city that they're governed by.
The people.
Yeah, and so
he quits and to run this hot dog stand,
but gets killed.
But gets killed by the police. Yeah. And that's why Michael Cera has that vendetta out against the police.
Yeah. But he tells him, oh, just stay in this little room, and if you want to use the bathroom over there, you'll be fine. But, of course, like, immediately Glen Powell gets seen by the mom, and she's like, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
And Glen Powell's like, no, please don't, please don't. And she has this button on her wall.
Yeah, dude,
with the
does
company's
everybody have
logo,
that button, I guess?
I guess where you can just report him. But they live out in the sticks.
She's a huge fan of that show.
Maine. Yeah. I guess so.
But it called the police because it wasn't the hunters that showed up. It was the police who showed up.
Well, yeah, because they were closest.
Yeah.
But they were jumped on it and were there very quickly. A common theme is when the hunters show up, they just shoot everything. They don't care if people get in the way. They shot a lot of innocent people by accident.
Oh, it makes for good TV.
Apparently so. And so ever the humanitarian trying to protect people, Glen Powell is always screaming for people to get down and not to get hurt and get
Okay,
out of there
that is where it comes back.
because he's like, they're gonna kill you. They're gonna kill you. They're not gonna just reward you. They're gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And so even though the mom wants him to die, he's trying to save her and tell her to get down.
Yeah.
But they shoot up the whole house.
Oh yeah.
And Michael Cera. Oh yeah, I missed that part. Michael
Mhm.
Cera tries to convince the crazy mom not to press the button
Oh yeah, he
until
presses it
Glen Powell
himself.
says every cop in town is going to show up here, and it's the same ones that killed your husband, which makes the light bulb go off for Michael Cera. He's like, I want them to come here so I can kill them. So he hits the button and sends them all there.
Which, like, he had that booby trapped house. Was that not his plan all along?
He was set up for an eventuality of
Okay.
them eventually coming to get him, but nah, he was like, nah, just bring him here. Please bring him here. And so he says, oh, Ben Richards broke into my house. That's the character's
The
name.
character's name is Ben Richards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I kept getting Fantastic Four vibes.
Yeah, Richards. Yeah.
Ben Richards.
Oh my God, Ben and Richards. That's
Yeah.
funny.
And so there's, some Home Alone style traps. Lots
Mhm.
of the military police get killed. And they escape on a hot dog dune buggy
Mhm.
and are riding on back roads. And oh, yeah, they have to escape through a tunnel
Mhm.
underneath the house where one of the main hunters catches them.
It just looked like the same tunnel from earlier. I bet they
Yeah.
reused the same tunnel.
And he says, I'm going to cut your Achilles tendon and then drag you out.
Mhm.
And just because that's my orders. And stabs Michael Cera, leaves him
Yeah.
on the ground. But Michael Cera, hears, oh, yeah, that's a pretty good plan.
Yeah, I
And
will
so
do
he
that.
stabs that guy in
Yeah.
the Achilles tendon and saves Glen Powell.
Yeah.
And then Glen
It
Powell
works.
decides not to kill the guy because he feels bad for him,
Mhm.
because he wants to save people,
Okay.
and just leaves him somewhat incapacitated, but doesn't kill him because Josh Brolin comes over the guy's radio to tell Glen Powell to kill him,
Yeah.
but
This is
wait
gonna
for the
make
camera to
great
get by.
TV.
Because, yeah, it'll be great. Kill him and then walk away. Like, it'll make this cool shot. Like, just do it.
Mhm.
And Glen Powell's like, no, I'm not going to do it. And so he smashes the radio and leaves. That's what it is. He shoots the camera
Mhm.
and then leaves with Michael Cera, who is somehow okay.
I thought he was gonna shoot the glasses.
I kind of did too. But the guy did not appreciate it
Oh no, he
at
took
all
that
that his life
personally.
was spared, because he jumps in a car and tries to chase him down.
Yeah.
Michael Cera gets shot after saying that he's gonna defend Glen Powell's character
Mhm.
with
But
these pipe bombs.
he had his conclusion. Like.
Yeah, he tells him about this bunker to, hopefully wait out the rest
Mhm.
of the movie in, and gives him a map, but then gets shot and killed.
Yeah.
So Glen Powell drives the dune buggy into the guy with the cut Achilles tendon and blows it up real good and kills that hunter.
Mhm.
And so most of the hunters are dead,
Yeah.
except for, say, 4, maybe
Yeah.
5.
And the main hunter. Main
No,
hunter's
I'm
still
counting
alive.
him.
Hmm.
I'm counting him
Okay.
because later on the plane it's just the 4 of them.
Yeah.
And so he's off to find this bunker that Michael Cera's dad built before he was murdered. But when
It's
he
all
gets
for
there,
that.
the mountain that the bunker was built into has been excavated and turned into a neighborhood.
Yep. Which kind of looked like the neighborhood from It.
Yeah.
What I thought.
And so he goes to the spot where the bunker should have been and has a dream fantasy about his wife and child living in this house that he's at, because he's finally saved them and paid for everything and won. And he leaves his video recording there
Mm-hmm.
and leaves a note, says, mail it yourself,
Yeah.
and
Because
continues on the
he's
run.
figured it out at this point. He's figured out like, oh, like I can bend the rules because I'm great TV.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not mailing it out. Y'all can do it.
Yeah.
And I know you will because I'm the only one left.
Mm-hmm.
And there's got to be good TV.
Mm-hmm.
Because he saw on TV that the lady had been killed off
Yeah.
kind of unceremoniously.
Yeah.
Like there was this cool shootout in Vegas and she got away, but then got killed off camera. And then they showed like a POV of these two trailer park kids like burning her up.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. But I believe this is the part where he is running away and he runs up onto the highway and a self-driving car with a beautiful kind of upper class woman
Mm-hmm.
rolls up and she's watching a stand-in for the Kardashians.
Mm-hmm.
They're called like the Americanos or
Yeah.
something, but it's very much the
I thought it
Kardashians.
was the Kardashians at first.
No, that's just how good it was.
Yeah.
Because there's a obviously a Kris Jenner
Oh
character.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure Kim
Uh-huh.
and probably Chloe. But
Yeah.
they also had a Kanye character
Mm-hmm.
and it was just I thought it was funny. So they do have that kind of reality TV show also, just not like fictional
Yeah.
stories.
That's what you're supposed to aspire to be, because someday you could be like that, maybe.
Yeah, apparently so. But she's putting on her makeup and FaceTiming with her friend as they're watching this show, not even paying attention to the road because her car is doing all the driving.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got lots of like, she's got a very beautiful outfit and her hair is very like, she's noticeably wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
And her show gets interrupted by a news bulletin about the running man
Yeah.
because he's running up right in front of her.
And she talked about how fake
She
the
says,
show
yeah, the
is.
show is so fake. Who even watches it anyway? And then he runs and smashes her window and gets in her car and tells her to take it off autopilot mode and start driving.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, I don't know how. I don't know how. And my battery's not very full. And then the car helpfully says, your battery's at 98%. And
That's
so,
funny.
yeah, he threatens her with a gun and she's, insulting him, calling him scum and telling him he's awful. And we see, these big, huge trucks are rolling up to try and kill them. And they're just mowing down all the cars in their way.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that's between them and Glen Powell, they're just destroying. He says, see, they're not coming to help you. They're coming to kill me. And if you're in the way, you'll get killed too. So you better turn this car around and drive now.
Mm-hmm.
And she does. And it's a cool action scene of her driving on the interstate,
Oh yeah.
the wrong way down the interstate.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're driving for a while, and he just says, point the car north and just keep driving. And she's like, why would you do this? You're terrible. You're awful. You're a monster. And he's like, you don't know anything. You don't know anything about me or the society or the show. You don't know
Mm-hmm.
anything because you live in a bubble. He's like, how much did that scarf cost?
Yeah.
For the cost of that scarf, you could have saved like all these people. Like you could have all this medicine for my sick, dying daughter. You don't know anything. And she's crying. He says, don't even cry. You don't deserve to cry.
Mm-hmm.
And just reams her out
Yeah.
over how ignorant she is
I
because
kind
of
of deserved
her.
it.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I was like, it's not her fault.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just as much in the society that he is,
Yeah.
but he very much schools her on the class divide.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the cameras catch up and she thinks that she's going to be saved, but they turn the show on in the car because the car also has a TV.
Yeah.
And they can tell that she's being edited. And
Yeah, and that's when he's like, yeah, believe me now.
see, like they're gonna edit whatever they want, they're gonna turn it into whatever they want. And she's shocked because of how extensive it is. Like they
Mm-hmm.
have her leaning out the car window screaming and waving for help, and she hasn't done any of that. And so she kind of realizes how manipulative
Yeah.
everything is. And so she decides to stay in the car because he gives her a chance to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, no, I have to prove that I'm not an awful person. And he's like, you're not going to prove it to me. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, well, I'm not going to try and prove it to you, it's to myself. And so they go up to a barricade and he threatens to blow everybody up with that black Irish from earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, the standoff, they're like, whatever. They give him what he wants.
They let him onto the plane.
They let him onto the plane. And it's very simple. The girl's like, well, why would they just let that happen? He's like, because it's all for show.
Yeah, it's all good TV.
Yeah, it's all just for this TV. And so they don't even try to shoot him or stop him or anything. They give him the plane and give him parachutes and everything. And the plane has pilots
Mm-hmm.
and like a staff on it.
But the pilots and the staff were hunters as well.
Yeah. So they get up there on the plane, and Josh Brolin gives Glen Powell a new opportunity for a new show. All he has to do to get this new show and become Hunter number 6 is kill the other 4 hunters on the plane who he has said killed his family, and shows footage from security cameras of his family being killed by the hunters. And that causes Glen Powell to spin out and destroy the monitor and the desk and lash out. And he does kill the other 3, like pilot, because Josh Brolin explains that he can remotely fly the plane, and after he kills the other hunters, he can just fly the plane to wherever they need to go. And so Glen Powell does. He kills the other hunters and then goes to search for the last one, and he searches all 6 bathrooms because he knows the plane has 6 bathrooms.
Because yeah, they even say 4. Somebody says it has 4, and he's like, no, it has 6. And he searches
Yeah,
into the other 2.
like when he's getting on the plane, he's like, well, looks like you're missing somebody in this 4th seat in the cockpit. And how many bathrooms are there for you to check for stowaways? And they said 4. And he said, nope, you're wrong. There's 6. So I know you're lying to me. And it was a pretty cool action scene when he was fighting the other hunters.
They can't showed it off in the trailer. It's a good thing I hadn't seen the trailer in a while because it really showed off all of the major action scenes.
Yeah, that's honestly my biggest complaint with trailers nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly think it's the companies, because
Yeah,
they
it is.
send
You
these
can't
off
blame
to.
the
I mean, I can't blame the movie because
movie
it's
and the
trailer companies
filmmakers.
that are making these.
Yeah, and then the studios that are okaying it.
Yeah, but it's like if I wanted to watch the movie, I'd go watch it. I don't want to see every good part of
Like
it in the
at least
trailer.
like show
Like,
a
give me a
good part,
taste
yeah,
so that I want to
but
see
like
more,
hide
but
some.
don't give me a whole appetizer. I don't want
Yeah,
half the meal.
because like imagine if I had seen that recently. Like the entire movie, I'm waiting to like, well, there's gonna be a fight on a plane.
Yeah, and usually that's what happens to me when I
Oh
see a
yeah.
trailer. Is I see things like that.
It's like, well, they got to get to the plane. I'm like, well, he's not going to find the bunker because they got to get on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, it was long enough before I saw that, so I forgot about it.
Yeah, luckily it's been a while since we'd seen it, but that's my biggest gripe with trailers nowadays.
Yeah.
But he kills the other hunter and sends the woman on her way via a parachute out the emergency exit, and argues with Josh Brolin about because he's like, no, I don't want to be your hunter. I don't want to do this. Like, I'm not gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, you killed my family anyway.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, you're gonna cooperate with me for my TV show and give us a good ending. And he's like, no, I'm not going to. He says, I'm gonna expose everything, and he goes on this big impassioned speech.
Yeah.
And then Josh Brolin's like, yeah, no, I cut the commercial break. You're the only one that saw that. He said, I'm gonna pretend like you crashed into the building, and and we shot you down with a missile before you could. So, yep. And that's how the movie positions that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And, we start to act like, well, that's it. That's the end of the movie. Except we get a cutback to the conspiracy theorist, like expose guy.
Well, do you want to talk about the main hunter? We didn't talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, you talk about it.
Okay, because that's it turns out the main hunter, before he gets killed, he is the person we were told about from season 1 who was able to survive as long as he did. Well, he didn't get killed. He got cut a deal where he was going to be the hunter. And he was like, don't do it though. It's a horrible deal. I hate my life. Like once they have you for good.
Said the only time you'll see your family again is when they torture him.
Yeah. And then yeah, he gets sucked out of the plane with the parachute.
Yeah. Because he was like a dog on a leash the whole movie.
Yeah.
Every time he got close to killing Glen Powell, Josh Brolin was like, no, you go sit
Yeah.
at the back of the plane. You're
Mm-hmm.
not going to kill him. I need him for my ratings.
Yeah.
And
he was played by Lee Pace, who is Ronan the Accuser in the MCU. He was the older boyfriend in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. He's in a lot of stuff.
okay. Because, yeah, he looked really familiar to me, but I couldn't really place him. I thought he did a good job.
Oh, yeah. For the little face screen time he had.
Yeah. After the plane supposedly is shot down with well, I mean, it really is shot down.
Yeah,
with Glen Powell in it.
But
the conspiracy theorist archivist guy reveals that type of plane has a detachable cockpit, and cuts back to the footage and shows, well, this debris is exactly the size of the cockpit.
mm-hmm.
And we find out that yes, Glen Powell did survive.
Yes.
And he did go to that building and burn it down
mm-hmm.
with Josh Brolin inside.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody was on his side and wanted him to live. The audience had completely flipped.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was rooting for him. And it had basically become his show. The announcer quits, walks off, and says, I'm done with this. And yeah.
Yeah.
He sees his family at a grocery store, and he
buys them the socks.
Well, the wife and the daughter are revealed to be alive.
Yeah.
And they're, shopping and getting just, regular. They were getting this cereal called
oh yeah, the Twink Flakes.
It was like Twink Crunch or Twink Flakes or something like that. But the logo of the cereal was a bear.
Was a bear, and yeah, you thought that was funny.
I was just like, wow, okay.
Twink and bear.
Like, kind of strange.
Yeah.
But she goes to check out, and the lady at the checkout's like, oh, here you go. Here's these socks that look just like, the ones that the daughter had been missing at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Like Glen Powell had kept one of the socks because it was in his jacket. And she's like, well, I didn't pay for those. And she's like, oh, yeah, you don't have to. That guy over there did. He paid for all your groceries, in fact, Miss Richards. And she's like, well, that's not my name. And she looks out and sees that it's him and is just, overcome with emotion and joy that he's alive. And he's happy because they're alive. And they're all back together.
Mm-hmm. And that was the movie.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember. Was there anything after that?
No, there is no post-credit scene.
It ends like that, I guess.
Yeah, that's how it ends, but I liked it.
Oh, yeah. I really did enjoy it. I thought it was a good action movie.
4 out of 5.
Yeah. That's what I gave it to. Mm-hmm. And, it's a remake, and it's an adaptation of a book. But it's not something that's just been overdone. It's not just the same movie over and over and over. I thought it was an interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it had good people in it. I thought it came in a good time.
Mm-hmm. Stephen King is having a year
Yeah, I was just gonna say, with The Long Walk and with this one.
with The Monkey,
Oh, was The
and
Monkey also a Stephen
Monkey is
King?
a Stephen King short story, and then Welcome to Derry is
Yeah.
the TV show. So that's 4 Stephen King things this
I
year.
mean, his stuff usually does really good.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
just surprised that it's all in one year.
Oh yeah.
Glen Powell, I think, is really making a name for himself,
Mm-hmm.
and he's getting a lot of stuff while he's young and looks the same.
Mm-hmm.
He's really getting that action movie star stuff. I think it's so funny because in all of his stuff, he just kind of has that same like haircut
Mm-hmm.
and face, and like he doesn't really change up his facial hair. So I mean, he's just Glen Powell in
Yeah.
movie, but I'm not mad at it. I think he does a good job. I've definitely warmed up to him because he started off playing kind of douchey characters,
Yeah.
but I'm really starting to like him.
We gotta see him on Saturday Night Live here in a little bit.
Oh yeah, is he hosting?
He hosts tonight.
I'm excited for that.
Oh yeah. We also want to know what y'all think. We've been talking about this movie a while, so either you've seen it or you've seen it through osmosis.
Yeah,
So let us know what you think. Have you read the book? What do you think? Have you seen the Arnold one? What do you think?
yeah,
But we'd love to talk with y'all in the comments.
yeah. Just let us know. What do you think about this format? Do you
Oh
like
yeah.
it better than the shorter ones? Like,
We're gonna try it one more time with Now You See Me, Now You Don't. And we'll see how it goes.
yeah, I definitely think it's fun.
Yeah, I liked it.
I think there's some stuff we could work on and
Mm-hmm.
refine, but I
Mm-hmm.
definitely enjoy it.
Yeah. I know a lot of people say they like hearing you break down movies, so we thought we would get it recorded for
Yeah,
once.
I think it's still a little too fresh.
Yeah?
I think maybe I would have a little easier time breaking it down if it was something that I had a little more time to think on.
Okay.
I
Mm-hmm.
think maybe I might take notes
Take
because I've
notes.
done that before.
Yeah, we did that with K-pop Demon Hunters.
I mean,
You
I've
took
just done that
notes.
in general before.
Yeah.
Like when I took that film class, that was what we did.
Well, school you're supposed to take notes.
I mean, yeah, but in the movie,
Yeah.
like it's something you kind of have to get a feel for. It's like when to look away and take your notes and what kind of notes to take because you don't want to miss
Oh, is that
what's on
something
the
you talked
screen.
about in film class? That's
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Huh. I know some reviewers complain about taking notes because it distracts them from the movie.
It does. And it's kind of, you kind of have to pick your poison.
Yeah.
Like it has to be a good note, and you kind of have to just make a jot of what you
Hmm.
want your note to be.
But it has to be something you'll remember and make
Exactly.
sense.
But I definitely think it's helpful. With the K pop Demon Hunters, I definitely think it kept me on track.
Yeah.
Especially with the movie this fresh, there's not even really a good synopsis that I could look at.
No.
And I did look at IMDb, and it is Arnold Schwarzenegger on the money.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah. That's funny.
Because he was in the 1987 version.
Yeah. And he was a politician too.
Yeah, we were
So
talking about that just the
that's
other day.
funny.
But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you've stuck around this long.
All right.
Give it a like if you liked, and subscribe for more.
Bye.
See y'all next time. Bye.